and welcome to another episode of Oops, All Dragons. I am Lisa.
I'm Varun.
And we've got a mini episode today. Although, I think like the last couple times we've said we've had a mini episode, they turned out to be full-length episodes. But that's okay. Varun, what are we doing today?
We're doing some actual play. We're doing something I don't think either one of us has done, a one-on-one RPG. So no party, I don't think this one even technically has a GM. It's just two people role-playing until they get to a resolution of the thing.
It's an improv game.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm singing everything I'm saying these days.
You're very sing-songy right now.
I know. I think, okay, because, I mean, if we're going to do our, check-ins, I think something that has happened to me recently is at work, I've discovered, a handful of people who are really into, musical theater.
Okay.
And it has, reawakened my inner theater kid. So...
I mean, I don't think your inner theater kid has ever gone away. It's just that portion of it.
Yeah.
It's coming back out.
Fair enough. But yeah, that's what's been happening to me is I've just been back in my rabbit hole of listening to a lot of show tunes.
Okay.
If you haven't listened to Hades Town, highly recommended.
I still haven't. I might give that one a shot.
If you're into Greek mythology nonsense, it's a great time.
All right. You're sounding good today. I might be a little lower energy because I just gave blood today. So just coming back from that, but I'm feeling fine. Other than that, doing stuff at the arcade, that's fun. Building lots of Gundams, that's great. Oh, and the last time since we met, the arcade had one of their big cosplay contests, and I ran their trivia for them. And then during that, I realized I know way too much about things that people don't know about. Because I asked, what's the model number of the first Gundam? And, there was a Gunpla contest at the thing, too. So, someone knew it was the RX-78-2, but not a lot of people knew that. So...
Nerd.
Yeah. But then there were other trivia that I was sure some folks were gonna get, because it's just, pop culture stuff. What does the T in James T. Kirk stand for?
Tiberius.
Thank you! I just got, a bunch of blank stares.
What?
Yeah, I know. And these were
T stands for transgender.
I think what happened is it was mainly an anime crowd, so if I hit them with Star Trek or Doctor Who, they were just lost. And my anime references, a lot of them are mecha, so if they don't watch mecha, they're gonna miss that too. But once we hit Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Inuyasha, we didn't do any Bleach. My Hero Academia, they got those, so we eventually hit our stride. But yes, it was okay, I have to really lower the bar here, super down, because they're not gonna get name the nine-tailed beast, their actual names in Naruto. They're not gonna get that. But Naruto's dad's name, hey, that's right in the middle. Tough, but they're oh my god, I know this. Not what the hell are you talking about? What are these words you're saying?
Yeah, it's rough out there for someone with incredibly niche knowledge about incredibly nerdy things.
Yeah. The Gundam trivia, that's going to be a Gundam night thing that we do specifically.
Yeah.
And yeah, next time. It was still a hit. It eventually we had prizes and we got rid of all the prizes, but we had a lot of candy. We were still giving away for the prizes. Just as, you know a thing, you get a handful of candy. We're just giving those out. And eventually we just gave it over to some of the participants of the trivia, because they had questions they wanted to ask. So they really like that participation aspect. They're yeah, let's do it again.
It's like karaoke, but even nerdier.
Yes, and that's another thing I want to do with them, like anime or nerd karaoke. But but I will say, even with some of these youngins bringing in their Demon Slayer, they're like, name the 9 or 10 Hashira or whatever, and I don't know what those words mean. And then the rest of the group is also like, we don't know. So
What are the youngins talking about these days?
Demon Slayer and Skate Infinity, apparently.
Is it a skateboarding anime?
Yes, evidently it is.
Huh.
Yeah, one of the questions was like, "Hey, what's the thing that they do in Skate Infinity?" And one person just like, "Skateboard." Yes.
Amazing.
But yeah, that's what's been going on. I have to rein in my stupid nerd knowledge because, I've learned it's kind of a problem when I start to unleash it. Like, I know a bunch of crap people will never ever need to know. And that can't be the trivia by itself.
Yeah. That's just, it's like, nerd trivia is already super indulgent. It can't be that indulgent.
Mm-hmm. Some were fairly like not super simple, but also like pop culture-y things like who were the first X-Men, who were the first members of the Fantastic Four, who were the first members of the Avengers, all in the comics. So you can't just say like Captain America. But yeah, it was good. It was fun, and yes, I'm old apparently. Just like my knowledge goes back, and it is as fresh as the days I knew it. And I made all the other Gundam fans like feel old too because I'm like, because the first Gundam that came on TV in America like really big was Gundam Wing. So I asked the question like, name the 5 boys from Gundam Wing, and like none of these kids knew it, and all of them were just like, oh no, we're old as well. Because they knew the answer, but none of the youngins did. So yeah, I just made an entire group of people feel old.
Oh, the generational divide.
It's real.
It catches up to us all.
Yeah. Just wait a couple years and then you'll be there, Lisa.
I mean, I'm already starting to feel it. Like,
oh snap.
With like, for me, it's like with musicians and.
Ooh, yeah.
Like certain pop culture things. TikTok, that nonsense.
I mean,
which,
yeah,
like, good for them. It's there. No, I look. Everybody assumes that I make TikToks. Everybody assumes that I'm on TikTok. I'm not. I was on TikTok for like a
Me
week,
neither.
and it was only because our mutual beloved Nova would send me hundreds of TikToks to watch, and I would lose hours of my day. And I decided, you know what? No. This isn't for me. This is clearly for, like, I don't want to say that it's for people 17 to 19 because there are plenty of people who are outside those age ranges who use it. But it's not for me.
I've heard the cutoff for TikTok is like 24. If you're 24 and below, you can still use it. You have the option to use TikTok.
Well, yeah, that's Zoomers.
Yeah. Because
Zoomers are supposedly like 97 onward, and because I'm like December 96, I'm right there at the edge. I'm like,
you get the choice, and you're just
and
like,
I'm choosing to stay away.
You're like, I'm just 1 month too old for this.
Exactly. I use the fact that I always used to joke that, like, because I'm from a third world country, a developing nation, everything is 3 years behind. So
pretty much, like,
yeah, I was basically born in 94 by that logic.
You're lucky your country's 3 years behind and not like, I don't know, 6, 10, like mine is.
I mean, we can argue about whose Caribbean nation is more fucked up than the other.
Not.
But we'll be here all day.
I think in some aspects, but sure. But
I mean,
but yeah, like you're right on the edge, and like you used Tumblr back when Tumblr you could edit people's posts and shit like that, right?
oh yes, I remember when the internet was still kind of felt like the Wild West.
Mm-hmm. And now you're like,
now it's just this homogenous of like every app that you go on. It's just Facebook.
Today's Tumblr. These kids don't know how they have it. They don't know what's possible.
There are people who like are on Tumblr these days who are like, no, we stuck through even after Tumblr died. We stayed here. You can't remove us from this land. And I'm like, man, this is a website.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah. Like it's not that important.
But conversations about generational gaps aside,
yeah.
On the topic of things that we know too much about, let's do something that we know very little about.
Yeah.
A one-on-one RPG.
Yeah.
Also known as a duet that you told me?
Yeah. Doing my research online, just SOE-wise, trying to find modules that are meant for two people. One-on-one is just like the worst thing to try and search because one-on-one, just everything with the word one pops up. So a lot of folks call them duets. So I was able to pull a couple. I've got one that we will try today. And we'll credit the guy who did it, who wrote it. And it should be a fun time. And let's see how it goes. You ready, Lisa?
I guess I am.
Yes, you don't need any. I made sure to get super simple ones. You don't need anything. You don't even need like paper or anything.
Amazing.
I have 6 playing cards here on my side, and that's just going to determine some things that happen if we get stuck. But yeah, this whole game is pretty much improv. But to give credit, we're going to give playing Clank, a brief role-playing game by Tim C. Kapang, a shot. So, and it's 1 page long. I'll read the entire page because it's not a lot there, but it's gonna go into like, what we're doing here. So Clank, a brief role-playing game for 2 people. You'll need a friend, a deck of cards, and about 20 minutes of your time. So first step, find a friend and deck of cards. Done. Keep the 6 kings, queens, and jacks for the hearts and spades. I have those in my hand. You won't need the rest of the pack. Find a comfortable place to sit or stand. This will take about 20 minutes. So second, shuffle the cards, have them at the ready, done, and then read the following aloud to your friend. So, you are successful. You work for the government and live alone, downtown in the city. You work late hours. You are single but find time to see people. It's about 10 p.m., and you're riding up the elevator to your well-appointed apartment. So the third thing? So that's who you are, Lisa, and name and all of that. We'll determine that in a second. But third step, your friend should take the moment to define a few things about the main character in this story. Because as of now, both of you know only the sparsest of details. So, is this character a man or a woman? Or in between, if you want to.
Man, why do I struggle with the most basic of choices? I'm a funky little dude.
Okay. We'll go with man. Name?
Tiberius.
Yes! Age?
37.
Okay. Up, little more up there. All right. And then read the following aloud. The elevator opens directly into your apartment's foyer. You throw your keys into the bowl on the side of the table and drop your bag on the wood floor. The bag hits with a soft thud before slouching over on its side. You sigh to yourself, exhausted, and then you hear a noise. You can see the city lights through your picture windows in the living room. The kitchen is out of view around a severe corner. Footsteps. Dress shoes on the tile floor. Tap, tap. The refrigerator door slams shut, rattling the metal frame with a sharp clank. Whoever it is hasn't noticed you yet. But then a beep beep in your coat pocket alerts you to a dead cell phone. The elevator is gliding back down to the lobby. The footsteps start again. So, what does your character do?
So I'm running through a list in my mind of like, okay, was my cousin Shelley visiting this weekend or next weekend? Oh god, wait, no, right, did I call the plumber? No, I still need to do that, I never did that. Wait, who? Hello?
Ah, you're back.
Yeah, I live here.
I know you do.
And you don't live here.
Nope. No, I don't.
So why are you here?
Well, I need to talk to you about something. And, my guy, who is also a man, he's gonna walk around the corner. Man dressed in a suit, slick back hair, kind of, well coiffed, and he's got like a piece of pie in his hand, and he's eating your pie.
Oh, I was saving that.
Oh, you like this key lime? It's all right.
Yeah, I know it's not as good as a key lime you'd get in Key West, but like you can only do so much in Minnesota.
So, so this is where you live, huh? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Tiberius, huh? They your parents name you after the Star Trek guy?
Yeah, they met at a convention in, was it 78? Something like that.
All right. It's unique, at least. And at this point, he's like, he's got his back. He's got his back to the wall. He's probably just leaning up. Got a saucer in hand, eating the pie. He's like, could use some whipped cream.
I ran out. I'm sorry, what's your name? Who are you?
Bill.
Bill.
Ding.
Who do you work for? Bill Ding.
Mm-hmm.
Building. Your name is Building.
Huh. Never said it like that before. I guess it is.
And your parents, did they just go, this would be really funny? Did Mr. Ding just have a really good sense of humor?
I think they did. But yes, I am inconveniencing you a little bit. I'm low blood pressure, sorry. Out of game. Little tongue
Maybe Mr. Building also has low blood pressure, which is why he's eating my key lime pie.
But yeah. And he goes, he puts down the spoon, he puts down the saucer, and then writes himself up. All right. So the reason I've come here tonight, you work for the agency, right?
I mean, yeah, but I don't do anything much.
What is it that you think you do? And he's just like, starts to look, he's walking around looking through the windows.
Did Dave send you? I know he caught me the other day just playing, like, games on the computer all day, and, like, granted, yeah, that is mostly what I do, but I mean, I do get all of my assignments in on time. There's no reason for him to be sending in, like, a house call to check and make sure that I'm getting my work done, you know? I'm sorry for wasting company time. Like, that's... It's...
He looks over a bit more stern, a bit more serious. Dave didn't send me.
Oh. Well... Who did?
That's a good question. But you gotta answer mine first. What is it that you think that you do at your job every day?
Like, data input. He mostly just moves the numbers around on an Excel spreadsheet and package it together and send it off to the next floor up.
Data entry. What data?
Data entry.
You ever think what sort of data you're entering? You're packing up?
I've honestly never really thought about it. Is it like TV viewership numbers or something?
Slight pause. If you or I need inspiration on something, like if we feel that we're stuck, that's when we can pull the card, because the game is over when we pull a jack, a king, and a queen. So if you need, if you feel like you're in a corner or something, tell me to pull a card, I'll pull it, and then, certain things will happen depending on what card I pull.
Okay. Let's go ahead and pull a card.
Sure. So I pulled the King of Spades. So that means, and that means when we pull a card, when you or your friend need inspiration, turn over a card, work together to integrate new details into the story based on that card. So the king means it's referring to some sort of government official, and the spade means the reaction's violence. And the cards cannot define the stranger, that's me. I already know who the stranger is. But the cards can help you and your friend create new relationships and details surrounding the stranger. Feel free to interpret the restrictions listed above in any way that makes sense. However, you cannot ignore a card entirely. Once a card is turned, it must have consequence. Be creative.
Huh.
And I think you already have Dave going around here.
Well, I was imagining Dave as like a office boss.
Okay.
But then again, that shows just between the two of us. I'm the one who knows the least about what it's like working in an office. So this fiction's already gonna go off the rails.
Senator President.
Senator President. Oh God, where were we? Jeez.
Asking about the data. What sort of data are you packing up here?
I'm sorry. What department do you work for again? Like, who are you, Mr. Building? Like, I'm trying to not get mad. You're already in my house. I've had a very long day. You ate my key lime pie. And you're asking me a lot of really weird questions, and I'm gonna have to ask you to leave at this point.
And he's still looking out the windows, and then he just turns and he's like, I work for the Russian ambassador. Kozani is his name.
Kozani? That's... Okay, and that makes no sense. What does any of that have to do with what I do?
That's just it. You're low on the ladder. but you have access to a lot of info that would be useful to a man like this.
Like what?
See those dollar amounts that you're always, balancing? You ever wonder how many congressmen or senators money is tied up in that? What sort of things they're doing with that money?
Listen, dude, my eyes glaze over as I'm typing those numbers in. I try not to think about it, that those numbers equate to more than I'll ever see in my lifetime. Can you, really, this, whatever it is that you want, it's entirely above my pay grade. I can't imagine that there's somebody else that you could harass that's going to give you way more than I'd ever be able to give you.
And then, he turns, and he walks a little closer. And he's like, but that's just it. Go higher up the ladder. More eyes on those folks. They also have more recourse in case someone like me ever shows up. But you...
Oh, what? You can manipulate me more just because I'm... Anyways.
Not manipulate. Just propose a side job.
Extort.
Yeah. You're not doing anything of that sort. You're just providing some information to a third party. What happens after that isn't really your concern.
What happens after that is I lose my job, and I am so close to moving up and actually, being safe from whatever it is that you're doing here. God, if you had waited like a week, I would have been promoted to a position where you wouldn't be able to do this to me.
And then he has like a coy smile on his face. He's like, that's the point. In a week, you'll have more access, and if you want, like you say, more money than you've probably ever seen. And he probably goes into his jacket pocket slowly, and then he pulls out a stack of bills wrapped, not huge, but then throws them on your glass table. He's like, how's that sound? We just need some account numbers and amounts.
This has got to be a prank. There's no way. This is a test. You're just trying to see if I'm going to break policy, and the minute I even look at that pile of cash on the table, I'm going to lose my job, and you're going to blacklist me, and I'm not going to be able to work in this town again.
Okay, I'll pull a card for this one. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so I pulled the King of Hearts, so that means a government official with some sort of irrational reaction. Yeah, and I think at this point, Bill here, he goes back into his jacket, and he pulls out a picture, like a Polaroid, and then he walks up rather brusquely, and he says, "You see this picture? This is a picture of Senator McKenzie, the guy who's on TV all the time talking about family values. You see who he's with? Because that's not his wife. I don't know if that girl even looks of age. Do you?"
That's clearly fucked up, but what does that have to do with anything?
these are the people you work for, whose numbers you crunch, whose money gets, laundered through the state. Your state is... And
I mean, what, couldn't you just take that to the law? There has to be consequences for that. But it doesn't have to be so shady, does it?
consequences, the law? Who does the law protect? The common man? I think at this point, no, he wouldn't hit you, because that's more violence. He would just, laugh. He just started laughing, You think the police, the FBI, they would go after this man if he saw this picture? He would claim it's photoshopped, or he would claim that she asked for it, or it was technically on the age of consent for whatever area they were in. He would find a way to squirm out, and they would help.
It would never even make it out of the... It would never even make it on the air, would it?
He throws the Polaroid on the table next to the money, and he's like, "You want to lose your job? Show your supervisor Dave that picture."
Let's flip a card.
Okay. Oh, second suit. So, Jack of Hearts. So, the Jack reveals a lover, and the heart is as another irrational reaction. And, while you're thinking of that, I'll read the last bit to prepare us. The game ends when you've turned over at least one card of each rank, King, Queen, and Jack. You probably won't make it through the entire deck, and that's okay. When you've turned over a card from 2 to 3 ranks is a good idea to start planning for a conclusion. When the final card is turned, you and your friend should finish the current scene and then narrate the ending to your story. Use all the details you've discovered so far, tie up any loose ends, or don't. Mystery can remain, but you should create an ending.
Okay. So the money's on the table.
With the picture, yeah.
The picture's on the table.
And yeah, the Jack is a lover of, it doesn't have to be one of us. It could be some other person attached to you, and then some sort of irrational reaction attached to that.
I think my irrational reaction is going to be... I'm going to turn around. I'm going to go back to where he left, where Bill left the saucer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just start stress doing the dishes.
Okay.
I'm just I'm muttering to myself, oh, okay, hold on, okay. What is happening? Okay. He said, he's got money. He's Russian government. Oh God. There's, what's Lacey gonna think? Oh gosh. And in his mind, there's a thought bubble of this girl who sits in the cubicle next to him, who pays him absolutely no mind, but in his mind, he has constructed an entire scenario
fantasy.
of them. Yeah.
Oh,
in
he's
his
37.
mind, yeah. She doesn't actually give him any attention, but in his mind, as far as he knows, as far as he cares, he's already imagined their entire life together. He's been psyching himself up to ask her out for weeks, and now he's oh gosh, what is she gonna think?
And
God, I really wanted this key lime. God damn it, why did he have to eat it? There There's a slice of chocolate pie in there, too. It might not have to be the key lime. Oh, God, money. Oh, God, okay.
Lacey, the girl who sits next to you, yes?
Yeah?
How do you feel about her? I heard the name.
What's it to you?
Nothing much to me, but if you were wanting to ask a girl out, pile of money doesn't hurt. New suit.
Oh, she's not that shallow. She couldn't be. She's...
And I think this is the first time that Bill, like, touches your boy Tiberius here. And he just puts, like, a hand on his right hand on his left shoulder as he's washing the dishes. And, like, how does Tiberius react? It's not like, harsh, or it's not, like, grabbing or anything.
I mean, definitely in that, like, toxic masculinity way of, like, nope, no one's allowed to touch me.
Well,
especially not a man.
And yeah, he puts his hand on the shoulder and he says, "Pretty girl, moving up in the world like you are. Respond to a new suit? New car, maybe? Probably wouldn't go too flashy with the stuff in the beginning, but makes a good icebreaker. Makes a good look. If she hasn't talked to you yet,
I mean, the old Camry's been having some troubles. I think that might be on the end of its line, and yeah, maybe a pair of pants that fit wouldn't hurt. Russian government?
Mm-hmm.
Shit. No. I'm a good, God-fearing American man. I can't do something like that.
I don't know if God has anything to do with your country, or my country for that matter.
Well, speak for yourself.
And then you could see he pushes back his sleeve and he looks at his watch. It's getting late.
Let's flip another card.
Okay. So, Queen of Spades. So,
Okay.
That'll be a rival with some sort of violent reaction as well.
A rival with a violent reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Could this be somebody, like a third person that comes in?
I was gonna say, yeah. Let's see. You and your friend should take it from here. Both of you will feel uncomfortable at times. Narrate proactively. Remain realistic and serious. You each have your characters. Negotiate and define the other important details. Actions may or may not leave the apartment. If new characters are introduced, you must play them too. And then, remember, whatever happens, the story must revolve around the main character and the relationship arising out of the stranger in the kitchen.
So, here's my immediate thought, is that poor Tiberius, unawares, his house has been bugged this whole time. And the time it has taken for this conversation to happen is just time enough for, like, another secret agent to sort of bust in through the door.
Okay. Door's already open, but he busts it open again.
Or, okay, fine. Sneak in and has been, like, standing there.
That's what I see. How
seconds.
actiony are we getting this, or how, like, Tinker
I don't
Tailor
know,
Soldier
you
Spy
said
are we
it was-
getting with this?
It was the You said it was the spades?
Yes. So,
Okay, well,
a rival with some sort of violent reaction. Either, and again, it could be you or having a reaction to them, or them having a reaction to whatever's going on here. Completely, open.
okay. So, okay, right? Movie brain, expand. Go gadget movie brain. So here's the scene that I'm imagining, right? So, Mr. Building, is trying to coerce Tibby into doing a felony, right? Doing a crime. Or no, what's it called?
I mean, treason, like straight up treason. Yeah.
Treason. That's the word I was looking for. So he's trying to get him to do a treason, and then he's clearly torn up about it. This other U.S. agent is like standing there, just like they turn around and they hear a voice go, "So Tiberius, what's it gonna be?" Sort of snidely, and there's this woman standing there, just sort of like leaning against the entryway into the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And like Tiberius just like screams because it's her. It's Lacey.
Oh shit! I knew it. Intrigue.
Oh. And I think like she gives it half a beat, but she doesn't really give anybody a chance to like respond. She like throws something at Building.
Mm-hmm.
Something small and sharp. A little knife.
Ooh.
Does he dodge? Does he catch it?
Commando style. Yeah, he would probably, like, realistic wise, he'd probably like jump out of the way and duck behind the counter.
Well, I think with the way
Hit the wall.
that everybody's standing, it catches Tiberius in the shoulder, whatever it is that she threw, and it's like a little knife. And he's like, "Ow, okay, that doesn't really convince me of anything here." Like,
and then okay, we've introduced violence into this situation, like just direct violence. I think at this point, I won't be a cliche. I won't say Bill would have a gun on him. He probably wasn't expecting to fight another secret agent, apparently. So, like, if he needs to take out Tiberius with his bare hands, he can. So he's probably like back to the cupboards, the counters above his head, and he's looking up diagonal at Tiberius, and he's like, "See how I knew her? She's in the same line of work, and oof, that looks kind of bad."
get the fuck out of my house!
How do we? What does Lacey do? She's like threw a knife and then is like blocking the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, okay, hold on. I was hoping that the "get the fuck out of my house" would just be like a funky little like
Dun, 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 dun. And
yeah, exactly.
well, I mean, it says specifically we have to have some sort of resolution to what's happening. So I think the resolution would be we established that you're on a really high apartment in this building. Because you had to use the elevator to come up.
So somebody's jumping out of the window.
I mean, that's gotta be what happens, right? Like,
Da-da-da-da-da-da. And then this Bill dives out of the window.
you know what? Because they say keep it serious, instead of like Bill jumping out the window, I think like what we've been saying so far. I think what Bill would do is, you know what? Let's say Bill was prepared and he did have a concealed gun. It's got like a silencer, and I think he like gets up and he shoots Lacey. Probably in the chest, and whether she's wearing like a bulletproof vest or not doesn't particularly matter. But she goes down, and then there's just like that smoking gun, and then he looks over at Tiberius, and he's just like, well, missed out on a lucrative opportunity here. You might want to do something about that, because that's going to make some problem. That's going to make for some problems. And he's like just motioning over to Lacey. And he just quickly like puts the gun away, begins to walk toward the door. He picks up the money and puts it back in his jacket, but he leaves the photo. And then he's like, I would say see you around, but that's not going to be happening. So, bye, Tiberius. And then he just leaves.
Walks out.
Yeah, he just leaves and closes the door behind him.
I think where it leaves off is he pulls the knife out of his shoulder. Bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch. He takes the photo off the table, puts it in his freezer.
Ooh.
He's not thinking about it right now.
Little Coda, the next day at the office, is Lacey there or not?
Right, so like that's the last thing is like he goes and he tries to, with what bare minimum first aid he knows and like whatever he learned from like survival shows on the History Channel, he tries to like bandage her up, and he like does a decent job. Like, he's not a medical professional, but at least she's not gonna bleed out. Might get infected. She's gonna want to get it looked at, but he like didn't have any rubbing alcohol, but he had some vodka, so he used that. The irony of it.
Yeah.
And the next day, he goes into the office. She's not at the office. No, I think even before then, he, like, puts her on his bed to sleep. And he sleeps on the couch. Next morning, he wakes up. She's gone already.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to work. She's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Roll credits.
Oh, boy. Yeah. It's not a bad little ending to this little spy thriller that we made up here.
And he's gonna pretend none of it ever happened.
Yeah, we get like the ending to you ever see The Shield?
Mm-mm.
It's about a dirty cop, but the end of the show is about he turns essentially state's witness against all the other bad cops, but the show ends with him just like alone. All the other bad cops are gone. All the other cops know he's a bad cop, but they can't, put him in jail or whatever because he turned on all the other guys. So it's just like him in the office looking out. And it's, you hear the sirens in the distance. And that's what I picture for Tiberius here. He's just in the cubicle, farm, and it's just like zooming out, and there's just one empty cubicle next to him. All right.
Wow.
That's pretty
Look
fun.
at that. I love it. Put it in the movie.
That was pretty fun. And
Yeah.
the thing I like about this little module, you could do it all sorts of different ways. You could do it just like, hey, you come home and like a stranger's in your house, but the stranger's like is Lacey, is like someone you like, and why are they there in your house, and how does that go? Or this, we if you want to go wacky, you know, the stranger is like, you know, a space alien, and then what happens there?
I was expecting it to go spooky, but that's because I've been listening to a lot of spooky podcasts lately.
I mean, it's fairly scary. Just to, like, you get there and someone's just in your house.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I was expecting Mr. Building to be like some sort of cryptid.
Oh, we could do that. Like, if you want to redo it sometime, yeah, we could go like, you know, let's play Clank cryptid version. Guess what? I'm the Mothman.
Oh God.
No, I would be the dude. I would let you be the cryptid in that case, because you know way more about cryptids than I do.
Well, fair enough.
You do. You know infinitely more than I do. I know the names, and that's it. I know no lore. I don't know like why any of these things do the things that they supposedly do. I'm lost. So I would just be random guy, and then you would be, you know, Slender Man or whoever.
Oh, come on.
You would be the Chupacabra.
Like Flatwoods monster or something.
You would be Bigfoot himself.
The Goat Man.
you would be La Chupacabra.
Jesus. El Chupacabra.
Which
It's just like 20 minutes of me going.
I'm not opposed to doing a cryptid version of this. The instructions say to keep it serious, but like
But when
whatever.
have you ever known me to take anything seriously in my entire life?
Not a lot, especially to the ending
Exactly.
where like Lacey turns out to be a secret agent and throws knives.
She threw a knife and then died.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily died. Maybe she had, you know, the vest or whatever under, and Homeboy didn't shoot her in the head on purpose. I mean, you know, he knew Tiberius liked her, so he just wanted to get out of there. But yeah, I wanted to see.
That's where the movie turns into a rom-com, where he's nursing her back to health. We just wrote Act 1 of the movie.
Act 2, Finding Lacey.
Act 2, he like nurses her. He finds her, nurses her back to health. They bond. The U.S. military has given us funding for this movie, so it ends up being like the Americans win in the end, and we've crushed the Russians once again.
The dirty communists.
The dirty communists. The comrades.
Yeah. But
oh boy.
I want like the resolution I was expecting is like, does he take the deal or not? And then like, what does Bill do with that information?
I think I was planning on the like button being him taking the deal, but I think this ended up being more fun.
Sure.
Of just him being like, I don't want to deal with either of you people. Like, go find somebody else in my department to do this too.
This is a fun little thing. I think it could go lots of different ways, especially if the two folks, like it says, if you want to be serious, and there are going to be moments where you feel uncomfortable, both of the, you know, people involved know that. You could do something like, you come into your apartment, and like there's a guy there, and it's slowly revealed that, hey, he's your long lost dad, and like, why did you abandon me, Dad? Like that's, you know,
That's heavy.
That's a fairly heavy thing to role play.
That's honestly one that I would be like, actually, can we do literally anything else?
I know. That's just the one that came off the top of my head. But
yeah,
you know, things like that. With it specifically says a government agent, so I think that, you know, that takes you in the that can take you down the road of like spy of like actual spy stuff, of where it's not really James Bond, like running, parkouring off of cranes and stuff. It's like someone shows up in your apartment and like offers you some money to do something. And if you say no, like either, depending on how important you are, they either kill you or they just disappear and you never see them again. Because, like, you know, I don't think his name is actually Bill Dang.
Yeah, no. Is that name from something? Was that really just spur of the moment?
It's 50-50. Bill was just, you know, well, what's an agent gonna be named? Like something really, you know, plain, and I just went with Bill. And he's like, last name, he's like Ding, because I'd heard that it's a wrestling joke, like the evil architect, Bill Ding.
Oh, it always comes back to wrestling with you.
Like
the
the evil taxman, Erwin R. Shyster, IRS. Like 80s wrestling is the best.
You walk into your house, there is a wrestler there.
He's 6'2". He's 250 pounds. He's dressed in a really tight shirt. He's like, I've got a deal for you.
He's very colorful. He's oiled up.
He's very oiled up. And he's talking
Somehow, when you look at him, there are pyrotechnics, but
he's talking about how he's
in your house.
He's talking about how he wants to buy the world championship. That was a real thing. That was a real storyline in wrestling. The $1 Million Man buying the championship from Andre the Giant.
Amazing.
This was fun.
This was fun. I think
Jess?
next time it's gonna be my turn to present a duet for us to look at and play. And listeners, if any of you try this out at like a party, or if you're in line at Disney World, leave a comment. Let us know what kind of story you've told with Clank.
Or if you have any other one-shot RPGs that you would want us to play, hit us up on Twitter or the comments, whatever it is. Give us a link and we'll take it under advisement and play it out.
Yeah, we'll definitely take things into consideration.
Yeah, as long as it's not weird or like has a million rules, because that's the whole thing with this one. It's got like one rule, and it's the card thing, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, that's super fun. And it makes it very accessible. Like immediately, my thought went to like, this is something you could play in line at like a theme park.
Yeah.
Yes, the people around you are going to look at you.
Look at you like you're crazy.
You're doing voices.
You're making believe.
Doing improv. You're making believe. But fuck them.
That's our lesson today, folks. Fuck them. That's the takeaway. Not, being vulnerable or, emotional vulnerability or openness. No, fuck them.
Do whatever you want.
Do what you want.
Do you wanna commit treason in fiction? Yeah.
Do you want to be
treason in fiction?
I think we could call this an episode.
Yeah, I think between you, low on blood, and me, just I don't know, general loopiness. I think we've had it. I think that's it for us this week.
This is still a fun
episode. Thank you so much for sitting through a whole other episode of Oops, All Dragon, something a little funky and outside of what we've been doing so far, but we're still young. We're still figuring out what we're doing. Yeah. Let us know
how you feel about our actual play. Turn this into an actual play podcast.
Yeah, the thing that we said we weren't at the beginning. We are not an actual play podcast. We're a philosophy podcast, but here we are doing actual play. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
We can do both. We never said we were just one or the other. We just said we weren't
what
like...
I say to the people who say that, hey, you said you weren't an actual play podcast? Fuck 'em.
Fuck 'em.
Anyway, this has been Oops All Dragons. I love you. Good night.
Good night.
Oops All Dragons is a group effort. Our show is edited by Noel Hernandez, our theme was composed by Brendan Lyons, and our logo art is by Azif On Q. Links to more of their work and their social media will be in the show notes.